The following video is a message for spouses and partners who are involved with a man who is enmeshed with his mother and family. Hi, I'm Dr. Ken Adams. I'm here to speak with you about what it means if you're involved or married to a man who is enmeshed with his mother and or family. There are particular issues and questions that come up for spouses and partners of these enmeshed men that I'd like to address with you today. I started studying enmeshment back in the mid to late 1980s and have been looking at the topic since and studying it. I've written the book, When He's Married to Mom, Silently Seduced. Since that time, I've had hundreds of questions from spouses and partners who have talked about the difficulty that they have being involved with these men. So how do you know if you're involved with a man who's enmeshed with his mother and family? One issue, of course, that comes up almost always is that he lets his mother and family interfere with your relationship. That's a tall tale sign. He puts his family or mother first before you. After a phone call or a visit with his mother or family, he can be irritable, critical, and distant with you. If you see any of these signs, there's a good chance he is enmeshed with his mother and or family and has put the priority of his loyalty on the relationship with his mother and family above the loyalty to you and or your family of procreation. And by the way, that is probably the most critical line in successful marriages and relationships, is the adults in the marriage put the loyalty to each other above the family of origin. Men who are enmeshed don't do that. So what is enmeshment? Enmeshment is feeling guilty and loyal to the family, in this case the man with his mother, and puts him in the role of a caretaker, which he never feels quite separate from that. And because of that, he has found a way to compromise, and that includes his relationship with you. Some of the questions that emerge from spouses over the years are many, but the ones that come up most frequently include, isn't it good for a man to be close to his mother? And the answer is yes, it is a good sign if he has a good relationship with his mother. In this case, with a man who is enmeshed with his mother, that isn't always the case, because he is there out of guilt and obligation, and he's likely to take that anger and resentment that he carries from that onto you. One of the other issues or questions that comes up frequently is the reason that he's backing off from me because I'm pressuring him to look at this issue? The short answer is no. When you begin to ask questions or ask for further commitments or for priority in his decision-making in life, he begins to feel the loyalty or disloyalty bind that he has with his mother and family. He feels torn between, so he gets irritated, rejecting of you so that you back off so that he can be free to stay loyal and avoid having to deal with his guilty contract with his mother and family. Unfortunately, that puts you in a terrible bind. Because it means that probably more than one occasion, and perhaps for some of you many, you've had to back off and compromise, leaving you resentful and on the short end of the stick of this relationship. So that's not a good formula for a marriage. So the other question that obviously comes up for the women who have called me, or men in the case of a gay relationship, how do I get him more committed? Well, you can't exactly get him more committed. Of course, the more you pressure him, the more he's going to tell you that you are the problem. There's a term called gaslighting, in which he may blame you and accuse you of being the problem, when in fact it's a relationship with his mother and family that's interfering. But he can't look at that, or doesn't want to look at that, because of his guilt and feels pressured from you. So what do you do? Well, I think you have to find a way to, of course, approach this topic, because if you don't, it leaves you long-term in a one-down position in an unequal relationship in this partnership that you have. We recommend a soft startup. In other words, not to use a confrontational approach, but rather a softer approach in which you say, I'm having a difficult time. I wonder if we can talk about this. I know we have differences of opinions, and perhaps it's time for us to see a marital counselor who can help us sort out the best approach so that you can have a relationship with your family, but that I and the two of us come first. So in lieu of that, if that's not possible, if he doesn't respond to even a soft approach, then it puts you in a bind or a position where you're going to have to develop a bottom line, meaning that you'd have to be willing to put the relationship on the line without threatening, but to say that, you know, it's really time that we take a look at this. I can't really survive or live in this kind of arrangement anymore. So that's a big position to have to take. We recommend that you get counseling and therapy with a therapist who understands these issues, a therapist who is going to identify the enmeshment and help the two of you negotiate a relationship with the family that's interfering and the mother that's interfering, that allows both a caring, loving relationship, but one in which the man can be emancipated and fully committed to the relationship with you, which after all is what you both want. You certainly can check out my website, overcomingenmeshment.com. I have a variety of videos on there, content that's free to you in time, online classes. I also offer workshops for individuals and couples to deal specifically with this issue. So I wish you luck in your journey to present this topic to the man in your life, and that he find a way to break free from his inappropriate guilt.